It's that time of day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third installment of the Butterfly Effect Casual Commentators Commentary Audio Catamaran. Welcome to the Catamaran. Catch you up to speed on last episode. Evan sort of realizes that via his composition notebooks, he can sort of go back and relive the memories that he had forgotten, those lapses in memory that I had mentioned in the first episode. Through the journals, he goes back and gets into those moments. And the last episode ended with him entering into a conversation with Kaylee. Let's see where that leads. Boop.
Are you walking home?
Huh?
I'll watch you.
Sure.
So I just want to point out something that I pointed out in the last episode, in case you forgot. This is one of the scenes where it was super awkward. I think this is where a lot of people point to when they say that Ashton Kutcher's acting was weak in this film. As I mentioned also in the last episode, it moves at such a fast pace you can't really notice a lot of the problems until you go back for a second viewing. This scene definitely feels one where his, I don't know what it is, because I was impressed at parts. I loved him in the Steve Jobs, I don't know if it was a biopic or just the Jobs movie that came out a couple years back. I really enjoyed him in that. But there's just parts in this film where he just is so bad. And this scene is one of them. So.
So, how's Tommy?
Well, they kept him in juvie for a few years, but...
So we get an update on Tommy. He was in a
Let's go.
juvie for a couple stints.
Still living with your dad?
No. I emancipated myself at 15.
It's taking a lot of courage.
Not if you remember my dad.
It's sort of, I like what the actress who plays Kaylee is doing.
She had a new family. Wasn't enough room. Whatever.
So that's a important line when Ashton asked, "Oh, why didn't you go live with your mom?" Kaylee responds by saying, "Oh, it's a big family, not enough room." Did you see? Oh no, my finger was down here. I just flipped something that went over there. Remember that line?
The reason I came back to town was to talk to you.
To me? Why?
I don't know why she would be so surprised. Oh, you came back to town to talk to me. He was literally waiting outside your restaurant for like 3 hours to talk to you. Also, like the way that the car was set, the car was parked in a parking lot, and there were not cars over here, and then there's a huge window with the restaurant. So he was standing right here. Did she not see him from within the restaurant? Where was he hiding?
Remember when we were kids and I used to have those blackouts?
Yeah, of course.
Well, some of those memories have been coming back to me. I just don't want to talk to you about one of them in particular.
Well, I'll try to remember.
When we were kids, your dad was making a movie about Robin Hood or something.
What do you want to know, Evan?
Did he? What happened in the basement?
Look, it was a long time ago.
I know.
Is that why you came all the way back here? To ask a lot of stupid questions about Robin Hood?
No.
I'm sort of thinking the same thing. Why did he come all the way back here, and he didn't prepare anything to say, or a better question on the long drive back? Like, what did he do on the entire drive back? Did he just sit in his car? I'm bewildered at this scene because it's up until this point. I mean, it's really not. There's no scene in the movie up till this point that is like you could look at it and go, "Oh, that's bad," because most of it was child actors, and then most of it moved at such a fast pace that you really didn't have the luxury of examining the weaknesses. But this scene just exhibits the problems with, I want to say, the directing, probably, the screenplay. Maybe it's a bit weak. It's a bit weird when you have Evan chiming in every 4 lines.
I just think that something really bad might happen.
Is there a point to any of this?
whatever happened, it wasn't our fault. We were kids. I mean, there was nothing that we could do to deserve it.
Just shut up, Evan. You're wasting your breath.
Also, I don't understand why she's getting so upset so quickly. I understand it's a traumatic memory. I'm sure that it's caused her a lot of pain. But Evan, I mean, all he's doing is asking about it. It's not like he's intentionally doing something to trigger her or piss her off. I mean, he's come at it from a very respectful standpoint, in a sense where he's just asking. I mean, it's understood that he has lapses in memory. She knows this. Why is she taking this road of snapping at him and just walking away, other than for the plot? For the plot.
Yourself, because your dad's a twisted freak.
Who are you trying to convince, Evan? You come all the way back here to stir up my shit just because you have a bad memory? What do you want me to just cry on your shoulder and tell you everything's all better now? Well, fuck you, Evan. Nothing's all better, okay? Nothing ever gets better.
So, that was a very emotional scene.
You know, if I was so wonderful, Evan, why didn't you call me? Why did you just leave me here to rot?
So, and then, okay. So the ending, the scene by its, overall not too fantastic, but the ending very powerful, raises some very good questions. And sort of two things that I had noticed the first viewing that I sort of re-noticed this viewing. She makes the statement, nothing ever gets better, and I think that's almost a realization for Evan, where it's like he goes off to college and everything changes for him, but I don't think he recognizes that there's some people that he used to know that are in the same exact position. We saw that literally with Lenny, who's mentally appears in the same state as he was as a 13-year-old, and then we see it here in the sense that her life just really hasn't improved since those traumatic events and since Evan leaving. The other thing that was raised that I thought was a good line is, look, Evan, if I was so important, why didn't you call me? I've been wondering that. It seems not hard. It's not hard. The film never really offers an explanation for why he doesn't, why they don't maintain a relationship via telephone calls, or why he didn't go visit her when he got a car. The logical thing is he just forgot. But if that's the case, then that sort of calls into question the rest of this movie, because a lot of this film is sort of about his attempt to redeem himself and to save her, as we saw in the opening sequence with him writing in the notepad. He's trying to save her. But if he forgot about her, that's sort of contradicted. Let's resume. So she's also, I just want to point out, if you've seen this movie and you know this scene, she literally just runs away, which I thought was so weird. I mean, she literally just turns and starts running, not like sprinting, but she starts. I don't know why she was running away. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But flashback to Ashton. Also, I do want to say that the score, if it's a score, the music in this, the sort of notes that pop up, it's effective. It's very subliminal, and it only pops up to sort of emphasize the tone that's going on. Maybe that works to its detriment. Maybe that works to raise the film to a higher level. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a film critic. I'm just calling what I see as it. And I sort of enjoy how it's not in your face, and it only pops up to emphasize certain beats as opposed to override them and falsely, inorganically make them.
Ray was your age. Almost exactly your age, come to think of it. He said he figured out a way to remember his past.
Some dude left a message for you.
You smell that all the way in the bathroom.
So Evan gets back to his room. Thumper's hitting a bong.
Hi, Evan. This is Professor Carter. Just wondered why you didn't hand in your essay this afternoon. I was a bit concerned. Call me to schedule a makeup.
What'd you say to my sister, motherfucker? Last night she cried on the phone for over an hour to me. She said you came and saw her last night. She fucking killed herself tonight. She's dead.
So now I get the realization that Kaylee's killed herself due to Evan's conversation with her last night. And this sort of gets back to me being not impressed, but me not hating Ashton Kutcher's performance. He very believable face in his expression, how he reacts to it. I don't know. I like the decision. It's an extreme. I didn't see it coming. I was very surprised that it had gone the way it had, with Kaylee killing herself. I didn't really see that coming. I just wish Tommy, the actor who plays Tommy, delivered it a bit better. It's all sort of one monotone. You know, that voicemail they left is not. I mean, there's not really. I don't know. That's really my only gripe about this. I like the choice for the narrative. I didn't see it coming. It makes sense. And it's interesting. However, Tommy, dude. Oh boy. Oh boy. So now we cut to the funeral. Ashton Kutcher's there. He's got flowers. You see her dad and grown-up Tommy, who both look like pedophiles. And Ashton walks away from that gathering and comes back later to lay his flowers on her casket and the little sign that he had drawn when he was 13 that said, "I'll come back for you." And this is sort of what I was saying earlier about the score and how it only emphasizes beats. This is really one of the scenes where that's on display the most. It's not, I mean, it is sort of a generic drama score, but that doesn't mean that it's not useful and it's not impactful. I felt myself almost tearing up during this scene. Not entirely. I guess another thing that I'd like to point out is that Ashton Kutcher, when he was dropping the flowers, I could have get a bit more of a performance. He just sort of stood there, but...
If the scar on my stomach didn't just come out of nowhere, maybe my father wasn't as crazy as everyone thought. If I can make scars, do I have the power to heal them?
We have Ashton Kutcher. This is sort of weird. I didn't notice this the first time, but I'm commenting on it now. So Ashton Kutcher, he's saying these things in his mind. Where he's like, oh, if the scar popped up, does that mean that A, my dad's not insane, and B, I can change it? But he's also drawing in the composition book, and the composition book is sideways. He's holding it. He's holding it like this. I don't understand how he's drawing. Either Ashton Kutcher has like the weirdest writing in the world, or this doesn't make sense. Also, why would he be drawing? Why would he be writing in the journal? Why would he be writing this in the journal? This is either a really monotone voiceover that's supposed to give us an insight into his head, or he's drawing this in the journal that he had when he was 7. But why would he be doing that?
About Kaylee's scars. It was cold, so I wanted to wear my clothes. But Mr. Miller took my shirt off.
So we're flashing back to the movie with Kaylee and Tommy's dad.
Got an idea. Let's go down to the basement. It'll look more like a dungeon down there. Little light here. Huh? Hey. Now, what did I tell you about keeping the door shut?
But I want to see.
Yeah, you can see the back of my fist in about 2 seconds. You don't do what I tell you.
Tommy tries to come downstairs,
Now,
gets hit, walks
this
back
part of the
upstairs.
story, Robin Hood has just married Maid Marian. And they have to kiss and stuff, like the grown-ups do.
This is the, I mean,
So, take off your clothes, Kaylee. Come on, it's like when we take a bath. Don't make a You too, Evan.
So this is sort of a glimpse into Kaylee's early childhood. Her father was very, very bad.
What time is it?
It's time for you to do what I tell you to do.
Wrong answer, fuckbag. This is the very moment of your reckoning. In the next 30 seconds, you're gonna open up.
So it's very clear that Ashton Kutcher is now in control and changing the narrative
Happening.
and history.
How are you doing this?
It'll change your daughter from a beautiful child into an empty shell whose only concept of trust was betrayed by her own sick pedophile father. Ultimately, it'll lead to her suicide. Nice work, Daddy.
Boy.
Let's just say you're being closely watched, George. Your other option is to treat Kaylee like a loving father treats his daughter. Sound okay to you, Papa?
I don't know why he calls
Listen
him
closely,
Papa.
fuckbag. You screw this up again, I'll flat out castrate you. What you need to do is discipline your son Tommy, because the kid is one sadistic pup. One last thing.
The dialogue in this scene is kind of weird.
Don't ever touch me again.
I don't know why he called Tommy a sadistic pup, but whatever. So now flashback to the present. Ashton Kutcher wakes up in a very weird room. He's got different facial hair. His facial expressions are sort of on fire. And so the main point of that little flurry of, like, little montage of scenes is to insinuate and to imply that due to Ashton Kutcher going back to that certain point in history with the movie, he changed the butterfly effect. So all of those new memories were made, and those new events in time were made because of that one instance of Ashton going back and stopping the molestation and the child pornography stuff. And so now Kaylee ended up going with him to college. Obviously, they all hung out together when they were younger. And so now they're in college. Ashton Kutcher.
Evan, you're bleeding.
You. Incredible.
Thanks.
Ashton's sort of on the fritz right now.
Where are my clothes?
Those aren't your clothes, silly.
Veterans.
Hurry up, I want a quickie before school.
So it is a somewhat obvious that we're in a Greek life scene. Little fraternity sorority action. You hear the sorority girls chanting out front. They're all cheerleaders, I guess? I don't know. Ashton Kutcher is going to the bathroom to fix his face.
Sorry. I didn't see you. What? You're the girl that was
So we get a little cute line. Haha. Evan lay off the blow. Sort of the nose bleeding. Makes sense. Evan is wearing probably the douchebaggiest thing I've ever seen. It's like a
Don't freak out when I ask you this, but
flashy green shirt
when your dad got that video camera,
with a yellow jacket.
Yeah, I think he had it like first day and then he gave it away or something.
I don't know how she would remember this. How she would remember, oh, he had it for a day and then he returned it. I feel like in the mind of, I can't remember how old they were. I think the book he had was 7, was when he was reading that. So a 7-year-old, possibly younger, I think, would remember one day where her dad had a video camera. I don't think she would remember that, but
it's being weird.
You are such a goofus. So I'll see you tonight.
so Ashton Kutcher is thrust into the Greek life. We'll see how he responds. And I think that's a good place to end this episode. Ladies and gents, thanks so much for joining me. There are a few more flaws than I had anticipated. Running back the tape on the butterfly effect. But I still hold true to the notion that the fast pacing really offsets a lot of the problems for the first viewing. But I think, I mean, it's so quick. You know, it's so, I don't want to use the word clever, but the way it weaves throughout things, you don't really notice the problems until you leave the theater, which I feel like that works to the benefit of the film. I don't know. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.